Hi all, welcome back to my channel Tech Advice from MD. My name is Moshita. Today I'm going to discuss some top 10 mostly asked questions in Python for freshers. Right? So many questions are there, but I picked the mostly common asked question. So which will help you to prepare for the interview. Right? So let's begin. Let me show you what are the question. Okay, yes. So the top 10 questions I jot down. One by one, I will discuss each questions and I will give you the answer also so that you people can note down. So first question, which is a very common question, which is what is Python and what are the key features of Python, right? So uh, as everybody knows about this very basic common question, but still let me show you the answer. Python is a high level interpreted and general purpose programming language. It is also known for its simplicity and the readability, mostly used for AI. So nowadays, Python is the language which is mostly used for the AI and the ML purposes. Right? It's a very high level language. It's an interpreted language. Now, what is interpreted? Interpreted means the language or the code's source code which is executed line by line. Compiled languages are the languages which are directly, all the source code will be compiled into the machine language. One by one, all the source code will compile into machine language, then it will be executed. But interpreted languages are line by line. It is compiled and executed, compiled and executed, compiled and executed. This is the interpreted language. Right? Compared to compiled language, it is a little bit slow, but it's a very famous languages nowadays. Python is one of them. Other languages are also there which are interpreted. Some languages are which are of both interpreted and compiled. For example, Java. Right? So this is what is Python. Now the key features of Pythons are definitely easy to learn and use. Interpreted language, as I already mentioned, dynamically typed. Now what is dynamically typed? Dynamically typed means you no need to declare the data type for a variable in Python. For example, int a, then a is equal to 10. No need to declare. You can directly write a equal to 10. Your interpreter, Python interpreter will understand that a is an integer. Right? Object oriented. So object oriented means we are dealing with classes in the object, and any object oriented programming language are qualifying the features of the object oriented programming language, which are inheritance, polymorphism, then encapsulation. Those are the features of the object oriented programming language. So Python is also that. Then large standard libraries. So Python has a huge standard library available. That is the reason why it is very famous for AI and ML. Many libraries are there. We can use those libraries to do some of the specific work. For example, NumPy, Pandas, these are the standard libraries available in Python. Right? Python has a great community support. If you go to Python website, you can find there is an option for community. You can put your questions, your suggestions there, and it will be replied back. So many members are there. Everyone is supported inside the community. So that is also one of the feature. Right? This is the sample answer which I have given for this question. It's a very common question for freshers. You can make this answer according to your comfort zone. Right? Next is what are the data types in Python. So hope everyone has that idea also, that what is the concept of the data type. So data type, as from the name it is suggesting that the type of the data which we are going to use in any programming language. Right? Common Python data types are numeric, sequence, then text, set, mapping, boolean, and binary. So one by one, let us discuss. First, numeric. Under the numeric, we are getting int, float, and complex. So int, as everyone knows, int is a float, is the floating number, means 4.5, 6.8, these are the floating numbers. And complex numbers are also comes under numeric. Right? Now sequence. From the name itself, we can understand sequence. It is a sequence of some data type, you can say. It's a sequence of some numbers. It is a sequence of some characters, anything you can say. Right? Under the sequence, you will get two concepts. One is called list and tuple. Hope everyone knows about this. It's very common concept. List is an ordered, mutable, and index collection that can hold elements of any data type. As I already told, sequence means collection of any data type. collection of numbers, collection of string, collection of numbers and string, collection of some number, float, string, anything. Right now, this is collection. What is the specialty is list is ordered. It is in ordered manner. It is mutable. Mutable means it is changeable. Means suppose I have taken one list, in future I can change the variable inside a list or any element inside a list I can change it. And it is indexed. Index means any elements inside the list can be identified with the help of some index. An index starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. It is the indexing in Python. Right? This is list. Tuple is almost same as list, but it is an ordered and only difference is immutable. List is mutable, tuple is immutable. An index collection that can hold elements of x. So this is only the difference between tuple and list. This is also a very common question. What is the difference between list and tuple? I think I am going to discuss in future. Then text, which is str. Str is string, everyone knows. Then set. Set is one more collection of data in Python. Set are again of two types. One is set, another is frozen set. Now what is set? Set is an ordered, mutable and unindexed collection of unique elements. So speciality of set is it is unordered, list is ordered, but set is unordered, mutable, right? Unindexed. Set cannot be elements of set cannot be identified with the help of index 0, 1, 2 like that we can't, right? And it is unique element. No elements could be repeated inside a set, right? Frozen set is a type of set which is only immutable. So you can say that immutable version of set is frozen set, right? Next, mapping. Mapping is actually dictionary. So there is a concept of dictionary in Python which can also be identified as a DICT. Right? What is that? It is also a collection of elements, but it is unordered, mutable, and index collection that stores key value pair. This is the specialty of dictionary. That inside the dictionary, the values are saved as a key value pair. What is key value pair? Means one key will be there and one value will be there. For example, I can say that I am creating one dictionary where I have written A colon Moshita. That means Moshita will be identified with a key called A, or 25 colon Moshita. That means Moshita will be identified with the help of 25 is the key. Key can be anything. That's why I given you an example like either A or 25 or anything. Keys can be anything. This is the concept of key. So it is index, but indexes are called as a key in dictionary. Right? So this is what is mapping. Under mapping, dictionary is there. Boolean is bool. Everyone knows that true false concept is the boolean. Then binary. Binary is byte, then byte array, and last one is the memory view. So three types of binaries are there: byte, byte array, and memory view. Byte is also a collection, but it is a collection or sequence of bytes only, which is immutable. The same concept is byte array, which is mutable. Just the mutable version of byte. So what is the difference between bytes and byte array is byte array is mutable, bytes are immutable. And one more is memory view, which is a zero copy read write view of the binary data. Any binary data's read write view is the memory view. Done. So these are the data types in Python. Hope it's clear to everyone. Right? The next question is what are the functions in Python, which is also a very common questions. So functions, hope this also clear to everyone because it is not only Python, this concept is there in many other programming languages also. Functions are some block of codes which will perform some task, but which will be reusable in some other function also. Right. So in Python, we can use def. Def is a keyword which is used in Python to create a function. So how I write, just an example has been given, def, then a name of the function should be given. This is the name of the function. This can be anything. This is the greet is the name of the function which I have written. This can be anything. This is the name of the function. Inside this name of the function, I have written something called name. It is called parameter. So what is parameter? Parameter is the input values to a function is the parameter. Now, as I already mentioned, that function is a block of code which will perform some task and which is reusable. Right. So whatever block of code I have written, inside that block of code, if I want to give some input so that it can perform some specific task. For example, I have given two numbers, then those numbers will be add and then answer will be addition or the summation of the two numbers will be the answer. So those are the parameter. Two numbers which I am passing inside the function is a parameter. Those are called parameter. Right? So this is the parameter passed. What Inside this, whatever you are writing is the block of code. As I've already mentioned, function is a block of code. So this is the block of code that can be many numbers of line. Here only one line is there. So hello name, the output for this will be the name, whatever input you will pass. For example, inside this function, I am passing my name. So the answer will be my name. Hello, Moshita. This will be the answer. Right? So this is what is functions in Python. Very common question. Next one is, what are the Python's conditional statements? So this is also hopefully a common question for everyone, because this is not only used in Python, this can be used in other languages also. So conditional statements are based on some condition, some steps will be performed. This is what the conditional statement means. Based on some condition, some steps in a programming language will be performed. Right, so they have given a definition. They are used to perform different action based on different conditions. So based on some conditions, some steps will be performed. The very common conditional statements in any of the programming languages are if else. Hope everyone knows. In Python, how you are writing is this. Right, so if you have to write the condition and you have to write the block, what you want to do if the condition is satisfied. If this condition is not satisfied, what you want to do is written under elif. Elif, and you can write another condition. And inside this, you can write what you want to do. If this condition satisfied, what you want to do is written inside this block. And always remember, after if, elif, else, everywhere in Python, you have to give this colon. Right? If none of these conditions are satisfied, lastly, this condition will be satisfied. This is else. So if, elif, 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 and lastly, if none of those conditions are satisfied, the else condition will be satisfied. This is the concept of if else. Right? This is what are the Python conditional statement. Hope clear to everyone? Coming to the question number 5, which is, what are the Python's loops and how do they work? So loops also is common for all other languages, as Python also identifying the loop. So loop is iteration, as everyone knows, iterating over certain iterating. This is what is the concept of loop. Right. Python has two loops. One is called for, another is called while loop. For loop, it iterates over a sequence, and while loop is run as long as the condition is true. This is the difference between for loop and the while loop. This question is asked in interview just to identify whether you have the knowledge of for loop and the while loop and how they are executing. Right. So for loop is always iterates over a proper sequence, but while loop runs if some conditions are satisfied, it will run. If not, it will not run. This is the concept of while loop. For loop, that syntax is written as for I in range 5, suppose print I. What it will do? Inside range is a predefined function. Inside the function, we are mentioning start index, end index, and the step value. Right. So if I have not mentioned anything, suppose I have written 5, by default it will start from 0. By default it will end at 5, and by default it will increase with a step of 1 plus 1. Right. So what it will print? It will print with something like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Always remember, whatever is the end value, it will not print that end value. It will print that end value minus 1. So 0 to 4 will be the output. This is for loop. So as already mentioned, iterates over a sequence. Now what is while loop? While loop is written, for example, I equal to 0. While I less than 5, print I, and I plus equal to 1 means I is incrementing with value of 1. Now what I told here runs as long as the condition is true. That means if this condition is true, this print will execute and this will execute, or else no. For example, first I equal to 0. So I less than 5, yes, so it will print 0. Next, I will increase by 1. That means I is 1. So is I less than, means 1 less than 5? Yes, so 1 will be print. Then it will increase 1 more plus 1, that means 2. So is 2 is less than 5? Yes, so 2 will be printed. Same, is 3 is less than 5? 3 will be printed, yes. 4 is less than 5? 4 will be printed, yes. 5 is less than 5? No. So this output will also be this. Right? So these are the what is it called? For loop and the while loop. Fine. Hope it is clear. Next question is, What is the difference between list and a tuple? As I already mentioned, but let me give you the answer also. But main difference for list and tuple is the that mutable and the immutable concept. Right? So properly you can write like this. That list and tuples are both ordered sequence of items in Python, but they differ primarily in mutability, as I already mentioned. Lists are mutable, meaning their elements can be changed after creation, add, remove, or modify. Tuples, on the other hand, are immutable. Once created, their elements cannot be changed. Lists are defined using a bracket. This bracket is used to define a list, and this parenthesis is used to define a tuple. Right? So main difference is list is mutable, tuple is immutable. Right? Very common interview question, this one. Fine. Then coming from number 6. What is dictionary in Python? So this also I already mentioned what is dictionary, but let me give you a proper definition of the dictionary. A dictionary is an unordered collection of key value pair, as I already mentioned. It's unordered, but it's a key value pair. How to write a dictionary? Example is student. For example, name colon Sophia, comma age colon 25. So this is one key value pair. This is another key value pair which I mentioned. If you print, how to print? If you print student is the name of the dictionary. Student inside this third bracket, if you write the name, that means it will print Sophia. If one more line, let me print here. If you write print student age, then hope you people can understand what will be the output. The output will be 25, whatever you have given here. So this is how you declare a dictionary, and this is how you use a dictionary. Right? So this is also a very common question. What do you mean by dictionary? Next is what is the difference between break, continue, and pass? This is also a very important question in the interview for Python, because pass is a concept which is very new in Python. Right? That's why this question is must ask question. Okay, so break means exit the loop entirely. Continue means skip the iteration, skip to the next iteration. Pass does not doing anything. So let's begin with one by one. First, break. Exit the loop entirely. Whenever you will put break, it will exit the loop. With an example I am showing. Whenever you will use continue is a keyword. Whenever you will use continue, it will skip to the next iteration. Continue. It will continue to the next iteration. Right? Pass is a very extra keyword in Python, which is just doing nothing. Just as a placeholder, it is used. Suppose you are doing or you are giving some code, but you do not want to do anything if that code is executed. Then you can use a keyword called pass. It is not doing anything. Let me give you an example. For example, I have read for I in range 5. If I equal to 2, I continue this statement. Else if I equal to 4, I break the statement. For else I have written pass. Now what is happening? As I already mentioned, for I in range 5 means it will start from 0 by default. So it will enter inside this loop. This all are inside the loop only. All are inside the loop. So after entering the loop, it will check. Is I equal to 2? No. Is I equal to 4? No. Then definitely it will print 0. I is 0. Then I will be 1. As for loop is continuing, I will be 1. So this statement will also not execute. This statement will also not execute. It will go and print 1. This is the output. Done. Now it will come 3. I will 3. So this will also not execute. This no. So it will print 3. Right, sorry. After 1 it is 2. Sorry. After 1 it is 2. Now 2. I equal to 2? Yes. This will satisfy. Now after this statement, what I have written continue, and what I told continue means skip to the next iteration. So what it will do, as soon as I equal to 2, it will skip all the next other statement and it will continue the iteration. That means it will again enter into the loop. So this print statement is inside the loop, it will not execute. That's why in the output there is no 2. Right? Now it continued and again start from for loop. So now I became 3. So again this statement is not executing, this is not executing, so 3 will be printed. That's why 2 is not printed. Done. Then after 3 definitely it will be 4. Now this statement no, not matching. This statement yes, I equal to 4 now. Now after this I have written break. What I told for break, it exits the loop entirely. So it will just stop the execution and done. So as soon as for will come and break will come, it will directly come out from the loop. Exit the iteration. It will not continue the iteration. Right? That's why for is not printed here. Done. This is the output. And for else part, I have written pass. That means I want to execute for I equal to 2 and for I equal to 4. Other than this, I don't want to do anything. That's why pass has been written under the else. But else is must. If you use if, else is must. But under the else, I do not want to do anything. That's why I have written pass. Wherever in any coding you do not want to do anything, then you can write pass. If you are not writing here pass, it will show you an error, because under the else you have to write something, you have to write some code. But here I don't want. My requirement is if I equal to 2 I want to continue, if I equal to 4 I want to break. Other than this there is no requirement of mine. So if and elif I have written. So if I write if and elif, I have to write else, right? But under the else I do not want to execute anything. So whenever you don't want to execute anything inside any block, you can use pass. Under the for loop, under if else, under function, anywhere you can use pass. Right? Fine. So this is also a common question. Next question number 9. What are the Python modules and packages? This is also a very common question which I have seen is asked in interview for freshers. So module is a single Python file with .py extension. So whatever files you are writing in Python, the extension for those files are .py. So those are called module. Any file which is saved with .py is called module. Right? Package is a directory containing multiple modules. So if a module is a file, then package you can say you can recognize as a folder. Inside the folder, many files are there. Same concept. Inside the package, many modules are there. There is one more concept is written double hyphen underscore underscore init underscore underscore .py file. So this is a special file available in Python, which is mainly used for constructor. So if you are going for the advanced Python and you are learning the object-oriented programming language, at that time you can understand about this file. But this is the concept. Any .py file extension can be used in another .py file extension with the help of a keyword called import. Use import to bring in a module or a package. So suppose I am a.py is one file and b.py is another file. So inside the b.py file, I want to use the contents of the a.py file. What I can use there, inside the b.py, I have to write import a. Done. Import is a keyword. After that, you write the module name. Right? This is how the module and the packages has been used in Python. We come up with the last question, which is what is the difference between is and double equal to? So this is also a very common question which I find is asked in interview. Right? So double equal to, first I am going with the double equal to. Double equal to checks the value equality. If the values are same, very simple. If a equal to 2, b equal to 2. So if a equal to b, the answer will be true because both the values are same. Right? Is also a type of keyword in Python which checks the identity. Identity means if the point to the same memory location. It's not checking the value, it's checking the memory location. A equal to 2, b equal to 2. So A is B is false. Why? Because A and B definitely not mentioning to the same memory. Right? So this is the difference between is and double equal to. Example also has been given. Suppose A is equal to some 1, 2 value has been taken. B equal to also 1, 2 value has been taken. Right? If you use A equal to B here, then both the values are same. So definitely answer will be true. But if you use A is B, the answer will be false because both the locations are not same. Memory locations are definitely not same. A is a different memory location, B is a different memory location. Right? Hope it's clear. So these are the top 10 interview questions which are generally asked in the interview, but never be rely only on these 10 questions, because other than this many other questions are there, but these are the most important questions, mostly asked questions in the interview of Python for freshers. So that's why I created this video for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much. Bye bye, and meet you in the next session also. Thank you.